Growing up, I was wildly active. Being outside, playing, was the most important and exciting part of growing up. Biking, skateboarding, all the different sports in the neighborhood, then transitioning competitively to volleyball in high school club and then college. Through it all, I was incredibly durable. Outside of scrapes, cuts, bruises, some stitches, I never got hurt, never had injuries like a lot of my friends did growing up, their sprains, their breaks and whatnot. That all changed for me right after I graduated. The summer after I graduated, playing in a tournament at the club I grew up playing volleyball at, I came down from blocking a hitter and blew out my ACL. It felt like an atomic bomb went off in my knee. And up to that point, the most excruciating physical pain I had experienced. It didn't even make sense. It didn't seem real. Little did I know that that injury from that moment, the entire trajectory and plan that I had for my life was changed. It was the mid-90s. Medicine was good, especially from the previous generations. Definitely not great compared to now. Didn't have a great surgery. Had an even less great recovery. Literally was handed a Xerox packet of physical therapy exercises to do by myself in my first apartment that I was living in prior to expecting to head off to college. About 3 months into recovery, some hardware issues in the knee. They ended up having to take the hardware out. Had to make more room in the joint for the graft because they didn't do a good job. My graft was rubbing up against the bone when I would straighten my leg. That set me back quite a bit. What also it was doing that I didn't know was the beginning of my journey of developing massive dysfunctional compensation patterns biomechanically to live my everyday life, to move through it, as well as the next couple decades of continuing to push myself to be as athletically dynamic as possible, still playing ball. And that led to other injuries that I was going to end up having and work through because I didn't know any better at the point in time. And this is the absolute first chapter of the beginning of my journey of heading towards what was going to become the most important thing that I came across in my life, which was, or is, corrective exercise therapy. And given the opportunity to put in the work to reclaim a much more functional life, a much more pain-free life, that I never dreamt was going to be possible going through the previous 3 decades. So just wanted to put out there this first chapter of the jump off of where my story really begins of becoming no longer invincible and heading down the road towards figuring out what it was going to take to become a better version of myself as I age. Hope everybody's doing awesome. I'll catch you later.